welcome back to my channel. I am makeup free and unstyled hair today because one of you guys asked me to do a video showing how I did my curly hairstyle with my short new haircut last week, and I was like, yeah, obviously I'm happy to oblige. Anytime you guys have a question about a hairstyle, I'm always happy to do those kinds of videos. That's just easy peasy, right off the dome kind of thing for me. And the main challenge here is, of course, making it look like I have more hair than I have. The girl who left the comment said, you know, she doesn't have a whole lot of hair, and the people that she sees do those kinds of tutorials tend to have kind of a lot of hair. Makes it a lot easier to do that style. So I'm going to show you guys today how I got the curly hairstyle that is in my whole week's videos last week from my new, healthier, shorter hair. And it is very easy, so let's go ahead and jump in. So after I chopped my hair off, I decided it was time to also take care of it as it's growing back out for my wedding, and so I've been using the Amika, the Cure, leave-in kind of, not leave-in, it's a hair mask that you use in the shower, and it is amazing. And then when I get out of the shower, I use this guy. I know, Redken is not cruelty-free, but Redken is what I know. Redken is what I was trained on for color and things like that. All of these international hair care lines are just, they're already so huge that of course they sell in China and things like that. So my apologies, but I do use this Redken anti-snap in my hair because it's amazing and I've never found anything that works this well. Plus you guys, I get this stuff at cost. The tool that I use is actually this guy. I have the, you know, social media crazy, I, you know, took the bait, bit the bullet kind of thing. I have the whole NuMe curl jam set with all of the different size barrels, but I like this guy because of the tapered barrel. This is the Babyliss Pro Nano Titanium, just a curling wand. I think it goes from 1.5 inches here to like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch here or something like that. I will link it below. You can get it on Amazon. It is pretty inexpensive and it's very, very good. I've been using it for years and I like this better, at least for my hair, than the one with kind of the consistent barrel shape all the way kind of like bottom to top. So this is what we're going to be using. The other thing that I will say is that there are definitely different schools of thought here, but I have always found that in order to make my curls sort of look like they belong together, I always curl one side one way and the other side the other way. I don't mix it up because I want the curls to kind of like coexist almost in a few big consolidated curls, and you can play with them so much more when you do that, when they're all already pointing in the same direction. So there will be kind of curls in this, you know, underneath segment, curls kind of in the middle segment, and then I also curl on the top. I think that that is a huge difference that I see between someone like me and someone like Zoella. Zoella's got like 8 people's worth of hair, and of course her hair is very similarly cut, similarly lengthed right now, and you will see her just wear her curls, you know, about here down and let the roots just do their thing, live their life. But that is great for people with really thick hair who can just wear a blunt cut, no problem. But for me, I have to build volume and I have to do it any possible place that I can. So if I just curl the ends, it's just gonna make my head look triangular. We're gonna go for a holistic kind of really pretty kind of beachy curled look here. So let's go ahead and start. So I always curl away from the face. And there are a few kind of important things to remember when you're using a curling wand. One is try and not touch the other hair that you are next to because it's going to kind of put a kink in it. But also, you see how I'm kind of handling, this takes a little bit of practice, but I'm handling the hair, kind of keeping it as a ribbon, and I will show you the wrong way to do it here in a second. But the reason that you do this is so that it kind of comes out as a ribbon curl. If you do it, I'll show you. I know it's making a lot of noise. Stop it. Stupid Juice Beauty lip gloss is haunting my life. If you do it just wrapping it like this, you'll see when it does that, it creates almost like a finger wave, and we don't want that. We don't want it to look like a prom curl. We want it to look like just sort of like a gentle ribbon curl, at least where possible. So I'm flattening that out and I'm handling the hair in a way that makes it curve around the barrel but not actually twist on its way there. Does that make sense? And I'm getting it pretty close to the scalp, but obviously not touching the scalp. This baby's hot. And I'm probably putting it on there for a total of like 8 to 10 seconds. And once I get those pieces curled, I don't really touch them. And you can see I'm kind of sectioning off the top section first. I could definitely, you know, pin it up and probably, you know, make my life easier and just do the underneath and then the next section and then the top. But I don't know, it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't need a bunch of clips and stuff like that. Like, don't let anybody convince you that, you know, you need all these crazy, like, professional accoutrement just to do your hair. Like, you know, you just need like a couple of tools and a couple of products. Oh, the other thing that I'm doing here, one, I'm pulling this section out and kind of getting it up high before I start curling it. That's going to make the roots sort of more volumized. If I bring it down here and then I curl it, you're only going to get a curl that kind of droops. If you do it like this, you're going to get one that at least tries to be a little bit buoyant. And then I am leaving just a little bit of the end out, but not like crazy. You know what I mean? I don't want these weird pointy ends, but I do kind of like that undone look. So you just don't, like I said, you don't want like the prom ringlet. The reason that this is a tutorial for thin fine hair is that if you curl hair that is very coarse and needs more heat to curl this way and this tightly, is going to hold that curl a lot more. So that's kind of the way hair works, right? So if you have hair that's more resistant to heat styling, then by the time you've actually gotten it heat styled, oddly enough, the irony is it's more likely to stay that way because it just is more kind of coarse and committed to the game. For me, my hair kind of curls and uncurls at will. It's so fine, it can be kind of persuaded to do things very easily. That's a big piece that we forgot right there, isn't it? No, we didn't forget it. It just didn't really stay. And if you do find with one of these kind of taper-barreled things that you can't get the curl tight enough, just move to the tip of the barrel and then you can get a tighter curl. Yes, that looks crazy, but my hair is so fine that as soon as I run my hands through this, it's all going to soften so quickly. I will go ahead and do the underneath first and the back just to get it out of the way because it's so hard to get to. And you can kind of feel back there and section it out, especially when it's short. You don't want to like grab big hunks because they won't keep the curl, you know what I mean? I have naturally pretty wavy hair. So it is going to be more likely to hold a curl than some other hair. You know what I mean? If you have naturally straight hair, there are definitely other techniques that you probably want to employ in order to get the curl to hold. So not only does it have natural curl to it, it's bleached. And so the porosity of colored hair is always going to make your hair more obedient than if it is virgin hair, especially if it's just a really closed cuticle, like naturally straight kind of hair texture. So if you have that kind of hair, don't dismay, that does not mean that your hair will never curl. It just means that once you do get the curl in there, you probably need to let it set. So in order to properly set a curl, and yes, this is more effort, but you would get this guy curled normally, you know, count to whatever, you know your hair, and then once you drop that curl, you would take it and just pin it down like that so that it sets. And you can get kind of little clips that have cushions on them so that it doesn't make a mark in the curl. And then it will kind of cool there and you'll be able to maintain the curl a lot better. So if you have really long hair, that's a really good tactic because really long hair, regardless of your hair texture, it's going to be more resistant to holding a heat styled curl because of the weight of your hair. And so if you have that, or if you just have really, really naturally straight hair, just try setting the curls that way. Like once they're hot, you pin them up in the actual curl pattern and it will set the curl because it will cool off while it's still in that curl pattern. So at the crown here, I will over direct this before I wrap it so that we don't end up with a droopy curl right there at the crown. So by over direct, I mean I'm kind of pulling it away from its natural spot, like where it would naturally fall, I'm pulling it forward so that I can use this heat to simulate a little bit of volume right there. Ta-da! Yeah, and you just hunt down these little guys, the ones that, you know, you missed. They tried to escape, but we will get her. And I'm going to let these curls set as long as they can. And then we're going to do the right side exactly the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that as I do it in real time on my end. Y'all, I remember doing hair tutorials in my old setup in my like very beginning of my channel, and I didn't have a monitor or even like a viewfinder or anything like that. I think I was just doing it like on my computer. And it was just so funny because I'd get so deep in concentration that whatever I was doing was out of frame. This is so much harder than it looks. Filming is so much harder than it looks. There's just such a learning curve to it. So I'm just glad that we have come as far as we have, and I appreciate anybody who's actually been there since the beginning. I would be shocked, but if you're like OG to my channel, you've been here since like 2014, holler. I want to know. That would be crazy. Okay, and then once I have all of this curled, sorry my face itches, oh, chemical peel. I will kind of take these sections and get a little bit more volume out of them by curling them kind of together, like this. So we've got some chaos here, and I like it. And this spot right here tends to want to be really flat on me, and so I will go in with kind of the nose of the barrel here and get a tighter curl there because it's going to relax anyway. I feel like anybody can like put curls in their hair, but if I'm going to do a tutorial, I want to show you guys kind of the nuances of how to kind of like remedy those little things, you know, where it's like, hey, it's flat right here. Use the nose of the barrel and just pick those pieces up and get an extra curl out of them. See? And now we've got more curl on top, and that is how we build a silhouette. We build the volume. So now that we have all of this curled, and I just love it, I'm going to kind of run my hands through these now that they've gotten a chance to set. And I still have my curling iron here in case, like, once I run my fingers through them, they go flat. Like this guy right here who doesn't really want to seem to get on board. We're gonna, again, use the nose of the barrel on that guy. And I did just do a twisting motion because I'm getting lazy and I already burnt my finger. There we go. You kind of just, you know, feel it out, sculpt the shape you want to get, and then I'll just kind of run my fingers through. And there's no real risk in running your fingers through here because if you need to kind of reconsolidate a curl, they're all going in the same direction. And so you can kind of twist them together, you know? So I end up with this. The main things here is sort of creating volume on top and getting this nice shape around my face, right? We can all curl our hair, but it's about kind of composing the shape around your face to still make it look like you. And so for me, that's having a little bit of bangs right here. It's making sure that I've got enough kind of like around my face that it still looks like me. And then we can start going in with volume products. But look how shiny my hair is, you guys. This is because of that freaking hair mask. It is amazing. I am obsessed with it, and it's made my hair so, so shiny, and it makes me so happy. My hair hasn't been shiny in a really long time. All right, so no surprises here. We're gonna be going in with the Big Sexy Hair Powder Play. I just love this product, okay? So, gonna go in kind of underneath that first layer. Center part, cute, right? And we're gonna just sprinkle, sprinkle. Make sure that it doesn't go all in one spot. And what that does is it sort of puts a little bit of a powder wax in all the places that the hair is gonna touch. You know what I mean? So it's building volume by creating little artificial hand-holding situations in there that are going to keep the hair where you just worked so hard to put it. And you see I keep doing that with the bangs. I want those to kind of stay over because that's sort of the me that I recognize. And then we do that again on this side. I kind of lift up that top layer very gently, kind of get some of that powder in there, and then sweet talk it. And then we kind of start sorting it out, making it look like my hair. You know what I mean? I know that it's kind of hard to explain that, but we all kind of know what the silhouette of our hair is that we are more comfortable with. So chase that feeling, you know, even when it's curly, it's just going to be kind of a more exaggerated version of whatever silhouette you're used to seeing in your hair. And for me, that means that this is going to go behind my ear because it just looks very silly to me, way that always kind of wants to back away from my head anyway. And so it wants to go behind my ear. It will go behind my ear in a second. But we're going to go ahead and get this kind of loosened up a little bit here. Kind of tug on these curls a little because it is still very prom looking right now. It's just big, but better that it be too big and you have to talk it down than for it to just be limp and you're sitting there trying to use products to get it to have volume. Like, you're already on the wrong side of it at that point. Like, it's a losing battle. There are just certain things that you can do, certain touches, certain ways of handling the hair that are going to make it feel and look more lived in. So this big puff drives me crazy, but I'm gonna step back here, give this a little spritzy. This is my Kenra 25 volume spray, super hold finishing spray. They came out with an alcohol-free formula of this. I tried it and I don't like it. So we got alcohol. Sorry guys. While that kind of sets, you have the opportunity to kind of still move the hair a little bit. Not right after you spray because the hair is technically like a little bit wet at that point, but when it starts to dry, maybe wait like 3 or 4 seconds, then you can start kind of handling it and making sure that when it does freeze, it goes the places that you want it to go. And I'm telling you guys, the products matter in this case. This is tried, true, tested. Like, I wouldn't recommend these products to you and say like, yeah, and use any old hairspray. Like, I'm recommending these products because they're the only ones I've ever found that work. People have kind of compared the big sexy hairspray, the spray and play, with this. It doesn't, it's not the same. It's gummier and it smells like, I hate the way that it smells. This is the only hairspray I will ever use. I have tried to cheap out before. Don't do it. It's the best. However, they do make tons of this stuff. I mean, there is a Schwarzkopf version. There is probably a Toni and Guy version. It's just any of these powder waxes, they really are exactly the same. So this is not the only powder wax that's out there, but this is my favorite one. I don't know, it's just the easiest to find. And then final touch here, boom, that guy goes behind the ear. Because that is what I look like. You know what I mean? So that piece just wants to do that anyway. We need to lift this up here. This is just, it's going so flat. Like I said, don't be afraid to handle the hair. And the whole reason that I recommend the products that I recommend is because they go with that mentality. Like, this hairspray, once it's done drying, you can handle it. It doesn't get sticky or gummy or anything like that. And so you end up with just more control. I still think that we could take this little piece up here, give him one smaller barrel curl. He just doesn't want to believe me, you know? Like, just believe me. This is for the best. There we go. So I'm going to hop off and do my makeup, and I will be right back. All right, and my makeup is all done. This is the kind of final lived-in curls look. I really love this hairspray because it does keep everything so kind of movable, but it really maintains kind of the curl and all of that volume that you worked for. And then, like I said, you just kind of make it look like you at the end. You know, you kind of use it to sculpt. I kind of tuck this behind my ear, make sure that the silhouette is how I want it to look. And that's really it. So if you guys have any other questions or any other hairstyles that you would like to see me do a tutorial on, let me know down below, guys. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you guys want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. And hit the little bell because Google, YouTube the whole fam, they're not going to tell you that I put out a new video unless you hit that bell. So opt in, become part of the notification squad, if you will. I love you so much, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.